Hello and welcome to the Fit for Life class on what day is it? Wednesday, the 22nd of April. I think that's right. Somebody asked me, these little talks I do at the front, the beginning. Somebody asked me if I would do a talk on beginning to run, starting. She wanted to start running because she said she'd gone out and she'd done her 6K steps, the 6K daily steps challenge, but she found herself wanting to run and she wasn't sure where to start or anything. So I'm going to talk about that today. So if you're interested in that, then that's fine. Hi, Joyce. Excuse me a minute. Right. So the best way to start running at the moment is the Couch to 5K program. And one of the best ones around, I think, the one that everybody seems to use is the NHS one. So if you Google NHS Couch to 5K, then you'll find it. And it's really simple. You can download it onto your phone if you have a smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, you can take a note. It goes week by week. It's a 9-week program. And you can jot down what you're supposed to do. If you don't use the phone and the app, you will need a watch with a stopwatch. But I mean, this one that I'm wearing cost me about $4.99. Their watches are so cheap now. Do you remember when it used to be a treat to get a watch, an expensive birthday present? Now it's like, whatever. So I would say use the Couch to 5K. Having said that, there are some things that I really want to talk to you about. One of the main reasons that people find they don't like running is because they are going too quickly. And they say, no, I'm going really slowly. But people always run faster than they think they're running. And the rule of thumb is, or the rule is, if you're running and you can't hold a conversation, you're going too fast. I run what some people consider to be very slowly. I'm not a fast runner. And as we get older, we're not fast runners. But the aim is to run for a longer period of time and get out and hear the birds singing and see the seasons changing and enjoying it. So if you can't run and hold a conversation, slow down. If you're not with anybody, repeat a nursery rhyme or a poem to yourself. Ignore the strange looks you get from passers-by. You could pretend you were having a phone call. People seem to talk to themselves all the time at the moment. You're never quite sure whether they're talking to themselves or whether they're having a deeply meaningful hands-free conversation. So the slowness, that is the real thing that I want to emphasize. I mean, I saw somebody saying the other day, when you start running, slow down and then slow down some more. On this program, it's 3 times a week. Now, people that have not got on with the program have not done 3 times a week. If you can only do twice a week on 1 week, don't try and double up the following week. Don't try and catch up. I would repeat, say on week 2, you can't do 3 runs. I would then repeat week 2 so as you can. It's not a race. It doesn't matter. You've got nowhere to go. Running doesn't take you anywhere. So do it slowly and consistently. And it's important, if you're really enjoying it, it's important to stick to 3 days. Don't think, oh, I really enjoyed yesterday, I'm going to go out and do it again tomorrow. Don't. Rest days are really vital when you're running. So slow, stick to the plan, and rest days. Now, I've discovered that older people, when they're running, for example, the first week, 3 runs, you start with a brisk 5-minute walk, and then you're alternating. You're running a minute and you are walking for 1.5 minutes. It's a run-walk program. Some people, when they start, find they can't run for a minute, which is fine. Don't think, oh, I never do this. I can't run for a minute. Half it. Run for 30 seconds. And your running people may have to look very closely at you to see if you're running or walking. That doesn't matter. You're not going to break any world records. So if you can't do if you're not able to run for a minute, run for 30 seconds. Keep the walking distances the same, times. It's done by time, not distance. Keep the walking the same. And so you're sort of doing a week a half. And then the next week, you might be able to do 1. And then the next time you might not be able, it's run for 1.5 in week 2. You might not be able to. You might want to do 45 seconds or a minute. So don't follow it slavishly on the actual times. Don't do more, but you can do less, and it'll just take you more weeks and longer. But as you get fitter, you will be able to do it. Whoops, that's 11 o'clock. I'm going to just finish now, I think. Yes. The other thing is kit. You need a pair of well-cushioned shoes. Now, I've got 2 different types here. These are my new running shoes. They were quite expensive. I would suggest if you're starting to run, this is another pair that I have. I have loads of shoes, got no proper shoes, but loads of running shoes. I would suggest that if you're going to start running, go to, I keep mentioning Decathlon because it is really good and really good quality. And their running shoes, I think, are very good, and they're very competitively priced. Otherwise, you could go maybe to a discount store shop. Don't buy a fashion shoe, buy a running shoe. And ladies, ladies, you need a good running bra. Now, I can't recommend this too highly enough. This is called an Enel. It comes on the front. I'm just going to show you. I never thought I'd be doing this on a live channel. And it fastens up the front, and they've got their own sizing. So don't think, oh, I'm such and such a size, that's what I'll do. You can only buy it online. It's ENELL. You can only buy it online, and you can get it from a company called Boobidoo. I feel so embarrassed saying that word. I really wish they'd changed their name. So if you type in Boobidoo, it's a British firm. These are American, I think. You'll see it. Pay attention to the sizing. And it's not like a normal bra where things fit in easily. You've got to squidge yourself in. Right, men, you can start looking now. You've had to look away then. So if there's any other questions about running, eventually you're probably going to need a running watch. And but at the moment, I would say NHS Couch to 5K. Right, it's 2 minutes past 11. I've gone over on that. Running's passion, as you can tell. So yes, we're going to start. I'm just going to move this out of the way. As normal, just nice and gentle. On your toes if you can. If you can't. And when you're doing this, if you're on a carpet, or even if you're if you're on a floor without a carpet, you'll be able to do this better. But just listen. I'll shut up for a minute. Can you hear your feet going down? You shouldn't be able to hear your feet. Your feet should be placed down so gently, and that means you're controlling the descent of your feet rather than just nice and gentle. Hardly moving your feet at all. Don't forget those arms as well. All right, we're going to start hands on shoulders, up, down, out to the side, in, forward, and back. We do it 2 more times. Get a nice stretch. Just feel the stretch. If you can't get your hand, sorry, if you can't get your hands up by your ears, just go to where you can. Remember, don't force. Down, out to the side, and forward. Sorry, I should have said, for any new people, this is the warm-up. We do a warm-up, the main exercises, and then stretching. So last time, up, out, and forward, and back. So we're just going to do a bit more marching, just a little bit quicker this time. On your toes. Don't forget to get those arms going. We want to mobilize the shoulders, the wrists, the elbows, the wrists, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. As you will remember, there's fluid in there, synovial fluid, which when it gets warm, thins out. It's got nutrients in it, feeds the cartilage. It's all good stuff. Your body knows what it's doing. Right. We're going to put your hand on your shoulder and make like a sort of bird's wing. Make sure your arm's sticking out. Pretend you've got a pencil on the end, and we're going to draw a big circle. So we're going to go backwards first. 1, to try and get full range of movement. 3, 4, and that's full range of movement for you. 5. It's not what anybody else can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the same on the other side. When people think about exercise, 1, they think about running around or strengthening. Is that 4? One more. 5. They tend not to think about mobilizing shoulders. 2, 3, 4, 5. When I first became a personal trainer, I was 60 when I became a personal trainer, but I was surprised when I first started working with people how immobile some people's shoulder joints are. It surprised me that people couldn't get their hands above there, and they probably hadn't noticed because there was maybe never, I mean, you don't do that very often in normal life, apart from maybe to reach things, but it's important to keep them mobilized. Right, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to do heel digs. You keep doing it and anchor your elbows, and so you're doing bicep curls with the opposite arm and leg. Slow down a wee bit. So your heels, you're doing a heel dig. Not very far in front of you. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So 3, should have counted you down. 2, 1, just so as you know, so that I don't suddenly stop. Right, out to the side. And at the same time, prayer hands out to the side. This is good because it's moving your hip, and also your static leg is having to take your weight and bend a bit. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one, just a little step back. Not a big step. If you need to hold on when you're doing this, please do. It's not a balance exercise, and stepping back is a little bit unnatural. At the same time as you step back, you're going to have your hands out in front of you. Spread your fingers. Jazz hands. 3, 2, 1. And lastly, just a little toe tap. So this is mobilizing your ankle the opposite direction. So the first time we were pulling the toe back, this time we're pointing it. And at the same time, we're going to do opposite arm and leg. Sorry, I'll slow down a bit. 3, 2, 1. What I should have said is when we're doing this routine, you can do it in the chair. The only one you can't do is the step back. So when we come to the step back, if you do that, rather than stepping back. Right, we're going to put that all together because we do a routine at the end. So we'll just have a practice putting it all together. This is great for your brain power. You've got to concentrate. It's good for coordination. It's good for balance. It's good for strength. It's good for mobilization. Oh, it's good for everything. So we're going to do heel digs, and then to the side, and then back, and then a toe tap, and then a heel dig, and then a side. Somebody was telling me that they're still finding this difficult. It's okay when we're doing it slowly like this, and then heel dig. But when we're doing the routine at the end, the faster routine, they find it, toe tap, not concentrating. They're still finding it difficult to coordinate the steps. But that comes just with practice. And heel dig, we'll do the one more time, this time all the way through. Back, and then a toe tap. Good, good. Right, we're going to do some work on our shoulders. So feet hip width apart. All these exercises should be done feet hip width apart because that gives you a good balancing basis. If your feet are together, you're much more unbalanced. So we're going to raise our shoulders up to our ears. Don't bring your ears down to your shoulders. Keep a nice long neck and then push down. And then up. We're going to do this 5 times and down. Up. 3, 4, 5. If anybody's new here today, sorry about the counting. But people will be saying, can't that woman even count to 5? We're going to do 5 rolls back, shoulder rolls back. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, nice long neck, 4, 5, and then forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was a bit easier today. Maybe I'm getting better at this. Right, what I want to do is just do, oh yes, we're going to do the just a little bit of unbalancing. If you want to, you can hold on. I'm going to do just, do you remember the shadows? Of course you do. Right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit further down because somebody asked me if I could do this with my back to the camera, so as you can see my feet. So you'll have to just not see my beautiful little face for the moment. Right, are we ready? Right, so we're going right, cross, back, back, right, cross, back, back, right, cross, back, back, right, cross, back, back, right, cross, back, back. One more time, cross, back, back. This time, we're going to do it the other way around. So it's the left that's going to cross, back, back, back. Left, cross, back, back. This is just to get you walking on a different plane and to get you used to being slightly unbalanced. Oh, I can't see what my feet, I'm assuming you can see my feet. I can't obviously see what I'm doing here. So left, cross, back, back. Left, cross, back, back. Right, cross, back, back. Right, cross, back, back. Left, cross, back, back. Last one. I hope that was a bit easier, Elizabeth. Right, let me just see if I've got it in the right place. Yes, that looks about right. Right, are we ready? We're going to do, oh no, we're not. I think we've done that, haven't we? Back, step and arms, yes. Yes, that's it. That's the warm-up finished. I'm getting confused here in my old age. Right, so we're going to start the main body of the exercise. Now, those of you, we're going to start with a squat. Those of you who know how to do this, you can get yourself positioned to start doing the squat. And I have to talk a bit here because technique in squat is so important. If you don't get the technique right, you risk either injuring yourself, not getting any effect from it. It doesn't really do you much good, or both. So if you can't do a squat, and somebody said that at the moment they've injured their knee and squats are hurting them, so use the chair because it's still the same muscles. If you just stand up from the chair and sit down in a controlled fashion, and when you stand up, just dig your fingers into your thigh muscle and you can feel them tightening as you stand up and then sit down again. If you need to, swing your arms and then down. If you can't stand up without using your hands using your hands, put them on your knee and use them to stand up, but then try and not use them to sit back. So that's if you need to use the chair, and it's exactly the same movement. It's just you've got the security of the chair. Those of you that don't want to use the chair, remember feet hip width apart. You only need to go down that far. You can feel your muscles engaging, or you can go down further. It's entirely up to you. If you can't go down further without doing this, then just go down a little bit. Consistency and slowly, and you will be able to do it. So we're going to do 10 squats or 10 rises up from the chair. Right, so we're ready. I use my hands in front to counterbalance. Don't let your knees go in. Right, so 1, 2, 3. Push your pelvis forward at the end. 4, 5. Bring your hands behind you if you want. 6. Do a clap behind you. 7. Mobilizing your shoulders. And 8. Doing your squats. 9. 10. How was that? If you couldn't do 10, absolutely fine. Take a note of where you've reached and just aim to increase very gradually. Right, so the next one, I'm going to let you sit down now. We're going to do a seated row. Get your bands. Now, if you don't have a band, you can do this without the bands. It's an arm exercise. So you're going to sit in the chair towards the front of the chair. Your feet are going to go out like that with your toes pulled back. And you're going to put your band over your instep and have quite tight, quite a lot of tension on the band. So when you put it over, sort of have your hands down there and then sit back. So the band is quite tight. If you haven't got a band, then I'll show you. We're just pulling our arms back in a rowing motion. Don't do it yet. I'm just going to bring this forward here so you can see what I'm doing. So those of you without a band, just pull back like that. Try and squeeze your shoulder blades together. It's just, even if you're not using the band, it's just your arms that move. If you're using the band, again, it's just nice and straight. It's only your arms that move. And you hold it as if you're holding a dog's lead and your arms, your elbows skim your side. So 1, keep them squidged, nice and controlled. Don't boing it back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep those elbows in. Don't want you doing this. 6. Keep your feet on the floor. Your heels on the floor. 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. Right. Next one. Don't know why I'm having to look at my crib sheet today. This one is for these muscles here. If you are tempted to go like that when you're doing a squat, because these muscles aren't strong enough. So we're just going to stand behind the chair. It's not a balancing one, so hold on. If you can't get out the chair, let me know and I will show you how to do this exercise in the chair. You need a band though. You won't be able to do it without a band. But if you can stand up, then try it standing up. The leg just goes out to the side. Remember that feet are parallel, so your foot just faces forward. So it's just this that's lifting. It doesn't matter how high. If you can only get it to there, it doesn't matter. It means that you're lifting. So that's 1. When you bring your leg in, don't put your weight on it. And then up. Do it at my speed. 2. 'Is that 2 or 3? Oh, we'll do 3. I'm going to have to be like an umpire and keep pebbles and keep swapping them. 5. Should just be your leg that moves. 6 is good for your medial glutes. 7. 8. 9. 10. I found that strained my, not strained, but I could feel it in my static leg. Other side. Right, so feet hip width apart and then out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How was that? Again, if you can't do 10, it's fine. It's just something to work up to. Right, next one. We don't need the bands for this one. Hands by your sides, palms touching your thighs. Right, we're going to turn our palms or rotate our shoulders so that the palms are facing outwards. And then we're going to push up and just touch your hands above your head and then rotate again and bring your hands down so that you're in the same position as you started. So rotate, this is 2. Imagine the air is quite heavy and rotate, that's 2. Push that air up, 3, rotate, don't forget the rotation, and then rotate, 4, keep rotating, 5, rotate, 6, 7, is it me or is that air getting heavier? 7, push it down, rotate, 8, rotate, 9, and last one, rotate, down. Fabulous. Next one is a balancing exercise. Now remember how you engage your core. So you breathe out, pull your navel into your backbone, and then relax slightly. And that tenses all the muscles that are supporting your backbone. It's not just, your core isn't just the ones you can see on the outside, it's the ones inside as well. So in this exercise, we're going to stand on one leg, have the chair there in case you need to grab hold of it. But we're going to just stand on one leg, lift your leg like that. Now, if you want, you can either just lift it a little bit higher or straighten it. If you can only lift your leg to there, you can still straighten it. You don't need to get it parallel to the floor like I am. So if you can only lift your leg to there, fine. You can either lift it a little bit higher or straighten it. Don't do both. We're on 6 this week, aren't we? On each side. So engage core. Pull your navel in. It just makes this a lot easier. Relax it slightly. And then up on one leg. And then lift higher. And then down. Don't put your weight on that leg. Just touch it. Just touch it on your toe. And then lift. Woo, I'm falling over. Lift. And either straighten or lift it up again and down. Lift. This is 3. Straighten. Or down. When you're lifting, you're using your lower abs, your hip flexors. This is 4. If you're straightening, you're using those muscles plus your thigh muscle because you can feel your thigh. 4. And some days you'll find your balance is better than others. 5. Last one on this side. And other days, and down. You'll find that one side is usually easier to balance on than the other. Right. Breathe out. We're going to engage core. Pull your navel into your backbone. Release slightly. Breathe all the time. Breathing's very good. Lift one leg. Either lift it higher or straighten it. And then down. Remember I was saying last week, this is 2, that one of the tests to see if your balance is better is putting your underwear on without sitting down or without holding on. That was 3. 4. So have any of you tried that out? 5. 6. Yes, did any of you try the underwear trick? Oh, give your legs a bit of a shake. Woo-hoo. Right, next one, you're going to need your bands. If you haven't got your band, that's fine. You can still do the exercise. Those of you with bands, well, all of you actually, arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height. Not up there, not down there. Shoulder height, elbows straight. So what we're going to do is we're just going to that. Don't do it yet though. If you haven't got a band, do that. Just go back as far as you can. Nice and slow and controlled. If you've got a band, you won't be able to go back as far. So the ones that haven't got a band are getting good range of shoulder movement. We're getting more strength. So small gap, smallish gap between shoulder height. So 1. Don't boing it back in. 2. 3. Make sure your arms are still straight. 4. As it gets harder, the temptation is to bend your elbow. 5. My right elbow wants to bend. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Fabulous. We're going to keep with the band. So put your hands with your palms facing up. Your elbows are anchored to your waist and your elbows at 90 degrees. And those of you without a band, we're doing this. So only your forearms move. It's just rotating your shoulders. So those of you with the band, small gap between your fingers, between your hands. And we're going to go 1, 2, nice smooth movements. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How's that? Whew, can feel it there. Right, normally, just move your chair a little bit out the way. I don't want you tripping over it. Normally at this point, this is where I do this exercise, just to get our hearts going a bit more. But this time, I'm going to do it slightly differently, just to bring a bit of variety in and just to challenge you a little bit. So what we're going to do, if you need the chair, if your balance isn't very good, have the chair near, but not near enough so that you fall into it. Right, so we're going up on our toes and we're going 1, 2, 3 forward, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 2, 3 to the side, 1, 2, 3 on your toes. So 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all on your toes. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Did you manage that all on your toes? Walking on tiptoe. It's really good for your thighs and your ankles. If you can, doing little jumps like that is really good as well. Just tiny little ones. Right. How was that? It's not difficult, but you're moving on different planes, so you're changing direction. Plus you're using your toes. So, next one. This is the upward row. If you don't have a band, you can do this just as well without the band. Those of you that have the band, stand on it, feet hip width apart, and then cross the band over. And then we'll I'll come in here so I can show you. Those without the band, grab your hand, your thumb with your other hand, just so as your hands don't fly apart. And then we're doing this. Remember, keeping that V. The V is there, the V is still there, the V is still there. It doesn't matter how high you get the band or how high you bring your hands up. As long as the V is there, you're okay. It's your elbows that come up first. If your hands are doing that, keep it down a bit. And try not to do this. Keep your shoulders nice and loose. So, and if you've got the bands, try and keep your forearm and your hand, your wrist and your hand in one line. So, we're going to stand up nice and straight, and we're going to do hands together if you've got the band, holding your thumb if you haven't. 1, 2, 3. You can do this with weights as well, of course. 4. Control it as it goes down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many have I done? Have I been counting wrong again? Right. Now, because I love you all and I care for you and I want you to be the best possible you can be and as fit as possible, and I want you to have great quality of life and be independent and be fit for life, we're going to do another 10 squats. I'm only doing it because I care. So if you need the chair, get the chair. If you don't, then fine. And we're going to start and we're going to do 10 more. Okay? So, oops, 1, I'm falling over backwards because my weight's on my heels. 2, touch hands behind if you can. 3, 4, 5, 6, keep those knees apart. 7, you don't need to go down very far. 8, 9, 10. You are so good. You're really good at that, I can tell. While you were asleep, I planted webcams in all your houses so I can see what you're doing. We should do it on Zoom and then I would be able to see. Right, last one before we go into the routine is a side bend. Feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Partial force has just arrived. I hope there's nothing for me. We're just going to go to the side. And if you want, you can put your hand above your head. If you've got shoulder problems, leave this bit out. Just have your hand down there and then up. 1. We're going to do 6 on each side. 2. How far down can your hand get? 3. Are you able to go further than you were the first time you did it? 4. 5. Last one on this side. 6. Just notice where your hand can reach to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. 6. Fantastic. Right, now we're going to do the routine, the heel dig routine. If you've got some music, put it on by all means. If you remember, I got done on copyright for playing the Proclaimers. Never occurred to me. So I'm going to have the Proclaimers playing in my head. So it'll be at that sort of pace. So it doesn't matter. If you're finding this difficult, it doesn't matter. Just keep at it, because it will come eventually. And then, I mean, the object of this bit is to increase your coordination, but it's to enjoy it. So if you want to blast out some music, then please do. So we're going to do slowly for the first couple of times. So heel dig, side, side, back, back, toe, toe, heel dig, side, side, back, back, toe, toe. Right, a little bit faster now. So heel, side, back, toe, heel. It's really weird, this. It's much better with music. So I hope you've got music playing at home. So heel, side, back, toe, heel, side, back, toe, heel, side, back, toe, heel, side, back, toe. One more time. Heel, side, back, toe. How was that? I've got something beeping at me here. I don't know what it is. Anyway, how was that? I hope you're getting better at it. You can have a wee practice when you're at the bus stop. Oh, we don't get buses anymore, do we? Oh. Right. We're going to go into the stretches now. So we're going to do a calf stretch. So remember, front leg bent, back leg straight, heel on the ground. Make sure your feet are both pointing in the same direction. Have a look at your feet. And then as you lean forward more, you get more of a stretch. Lean back a bit, it's less of a stretch. The stretch for this one is just behind your, the top of your calf, just behind your kneecap. So we're just going to hold this for a few seconds. And then gently bend your back knee just a little bit. Your heel comes off the ground. And you should feel the stretch moving down into your Achilles tendon, your lower calf muscle, which is called your soleus. I just put in these words now and again just to show I know what I'm talking about. And then change over, front leg bent, back leg straight. Your feet are okay? Yep, mine are. Heel on the ground, leaning forward. Feel that stretch in your calf. Feels good, I like stretching. And then bend your knee slightly, heel comes off the floor. Okay, right. Holding onto the chair if you want, it's not a balancing one. Grab your shoe, your toe, your mid-calf, your trouser leg. If you can, have your knee like that and have your knees together. If you can't do that, do this. So this one is static stretching. This one is dynamic stretching. So those of you that are holding your foot or whatever, hold on to that. Those of you that are doing this, just keep doing this. Right, so the static stretchers, hold your other leg. Well, you'll have to put the first leg down, obviously. Dynamic stretchers, just keep doing your dynamic stretching. Good. Right. Hamstrings now. These big muscles at the back of your legs. Sitting towards the front of the chair. Just going to move this back a bit so you can see me a bit better. Sitting nice and straight, knees at 90 degrees, toe out, dorsiflexion, pull back, Sitting up nice and straight and lean forward from the hips, not from the waist. Keep your toe pulled back. But remember, you only need to go down as far as you can go down. Stretching should be challenging but not painful. If it's painful, stop immediately. And then sit up and repeat on the other leg. Sitting up nice and straight, forward from the hips, toe pulled back. Okay, standing up now, hands out to the side, palms facing forward, feet hip width apart, round the tree. So your arms are round like that, not straight like that, but round like that, at shoulder height, and then dip your head. And what you're doing is you're stretching the big muscles across your shoulders and trying to get your shoulder blades apart. And then release your hands and interlock your fingers behind your back if you can. If not, just try and get your elbows as close together as you can. Lift your arms if you're interlocking, just to give yourself a good stretch across here. Right. Put your hand across your chest and then take your other hand and push your elbow slightly. If you've got any problems with your shoulders, this might be painful. And if it is, just don't do it. There's no point in doing it if it's going to be painful. This is to stretch these deltoid muscles, the big muscles here. These are the ones you were using when you were doing that. And then switch, put that one there. One arm may be painful, one arm may not, just as long as you don't hurt yourself. Okay, hand up in the air and put it down your back like that, just so that you've got a good bend there. If you can't get your hand right down to there, if you've got shoulder mobility problems, it's fine, just do where you can. If you can get it up there, that's great. And then push back with your hand. That's to get a stretch down here. And then release that hand, and we'll do the other one. Pulling it back. Okay, last set, we're up to the neck now. So sitting in the chair nice and comfortably. Remember, don't use the back of the chair, use your own back for support. Your muscles will thank you. And we're just going to dip the head, put your hand on your crown, but don't push. Just let the weight of your hand push your head down a little bit. And then look up again. And if you're new, just watch this. I'll just do it very quickly. So head to the side, note where your chin is in relation to your shoulder. Don't turn your shoulders, just your head. Put your hand on your chin, try and turn your head back to the center, but you can't. Resist with your hand, and you're creating tension in your neck, and then release the tension, and you should be able to turn your head just a little bit more to the side. So we'll do that for real this time. So turn your head to the side, hand on your chin, try and turn your head back to the center, resist with your hand, and then relax and see if you can turn your head just a tiny nano millimeter, whatever it's called, to the left. Bring your head back to the center. And then we're going to do it, look to the right. Note where your chin is in relation to your shoulder. Hand on your chin. Try and look back to the center. Resist with your hand. And then relax and see if you can turn your head a little bit more. And bring your head back to the center. And that is the end of the session. Thank you very much for being with me. Saturday, 10 to 11, be there, be square. If anybody's got any topics they would like me to do in the first 5 minutes, let me know and I will try and cover it. Until then, au revoir.